All right, howdy, Pepperjack. I got your message on Indie Hackers, and I would love to provide feedback for your website. So go ahead and hop over here. So my first note is that I wasn't exactly sure how to pronounce the name. Is it Prepnd? Is it Prepend? I'm not exactly sure. So I think I've been thinking of it as Prepend. So hopefully that's right. That's probably what I will be saying throughout this video. But thank you for contacting me, and I'm happy to review what you got going on. So I've looked at it, and my take is really at this early stage. So where you are where this landing page is pre-launch. So your primary call to action for people is you're getting email addresses. So that's what your one thing that you're trying to do is. So that's great. And you're definitely doing this right as an MVP before, like a pre-MVP, really. Your landing page is the MVP. Can I sell this idea to people, and can I get people interested and build a potential customer base before I even launch the real product? So I don't know if you're already building the actual software product, or if this is just the pitch page to see what the interest looks like. But this is the right way to go when building trying out a new idea and a product idea. So the primary issues that I think you have at this early stage is really organizational and layout based, and that can be solved really easily. And we don't have to reinvent the wheel to do that either. We can just look back at common design patterns and what other people do and what has been tested and proven to be good ways to lay out a page and content. So that's what we're going to cover. So I screenshotted your site and I brought it over here into Figma, and I have a number of things that I put in here from comments on. We'll talk about your website, some just inspiration from a few different websites, and then some previous landing pages that I have worked on. And I'll send you this Figma link so you can come back and take a look at it. I have notes over here on the side next to your website here, and we'll look at those. So the notes, what you'll see is, actually let's hide the sidebars. What you'll see is I have an 11-step guide for what needs to be on your landing page. Now this is if you can build out a full featured landing page. And so the items that are probably not available to you right now or more difficult, I put in parentheses. So testimonials, logos from clients, product demo video. You may not have the ability to put all these on your landing page right now because they may not exist. But that's okay. You can still continue on without them. Now I didn't invent this entire list myself. I've researched a lot into landing pages. I've worked on a lot of landing pages over time, and I've learned from the best as well. So this one I've modified from other great designers like Harry Dry and great marketers and others. So and modified from there. But I think this is always a good direction to start with for a landing page. So let's talk about a couple of things. This is broken down into above the fold and below the fold. Now the fold is wherever that breakpoint is on your browser screen whenever you first land on a website. And it's probably actually somewhere more around here if you're on a laptop. That would be about 700 to 800 or so pixels tall. And this can be a point of contention for designers, talking about the fold. And it's been argued many times over the years. But there is definitely something to it in that we want to present our succinct messaging immediately when the customer visits our site, and so that they can get a good scope of everything that's going on immediately. So what I've noticed is that, like I said, layout and content, layout and something else. I said something else like layout, organization. I think that's all you need to do to really tighten this up and make it work together. So here's a quick example, and then we'll jump back over here. You can see you have a lot of, so above the fold I have hero section. So a lot of times we call it the first section, the hero section, which is presenting your product as the hero. So we need a headline, a subtitle, a visual, social proof, and a CTA. Now you actually have all that, but it's just kind of spaced out oddly and placed mishmash. What you typically see on a landing page or a home page is one of two things, one of two models. The side-by-side two-column layout or the single-column layout with the all the text content, and then it kind of points downward towards a product image or some other graphic that works and presents your product visually. Same here. You know, this doesn't have to be a picture of a human unless you are selling like podcasting or something. You could do something like that. SaaS is a little bit different oftentimes whenever you're dealing with software, but you still want to think people centric because people are people and people like people. And so when they see just pictures of UI and code and stuff like that, it may be the technicalities of your actual product that you're selling, but people want to know that this is a human-based product and that humans are supposed to use it and that it's made for humans and that it's made by humans. And so anytime that you can add some human elements to it, photography or headshots or a photo of yourself as the founder, that can really be a boost to the human element. So these are the two primary. So I think you could go with what you have right here. You could do either one. You could, move your product images over here, half off the screen, something like that, and put your text over here and your CTA. Or you could go with the same style and you take all this stuff here, move it up below your headline, and rework it a little bit. Probably it's going to push this image down more, which is good. And then you can clip it as well. So that's what I did over here on this design, was I clipped it so that actually here the fold is probably somewhere around there, maybe. So when somebody visits the site, they get all this info, they see this, but they keep scrolling to see the rest. So you're really not far off. It's just the organization a little bit. Now, I would get rid of this prepend right here, and I would set up a standard navigation. Oh, you have these gray bars on the side. I'd probably get rid of that. They're just not necessary. So, whether you have a logo or not, you put prepend here, and then over here you're going to have your CTA, which is going to reflect your primary CTA here as well, which is get early access. And I think that language is perfect for that. So get early access right here. So one other item now that I think about it, you have name, you have a field. So you want people to sign up. You have name, email, and then a button. No credit card required. Get eligible to early access rates. Okay, so I think you could rewrite this or just drop it. But you could write it in a better way. This I don't think you need to put at all because we're not talking about purchasing anything at the moment. Name, it'd be great if you just need to drop it. You don't need it, and email is really all you need. And putting these on 2 lines, you could probably get away. You could probably break it into 1 line. So I don't know I know sometimes form builders have strict limitations on what the capabilities are, but if you can make that on just 1 line. Now there are 2 types for this type of sign up where you want to create a wait list that are that you could choose from. One is the email field route, and so you can get that example right here. So you could have an exposed email field directly available. People click in their names or put in their emails and they click the button, and that's it. The other option is you have a button that launches a pop-up modal with that email field and button. And then, you could have some extra text or something on here if you like. You should, yeah. Put some extra text or something explaining it right here. Now, I don't have data on which one of these performs best. I would really like to see some data on that. Pretty sure I've searched for it before, but never could find anything. So I probably need to take a look again, see if anyone's written about it, to know which one performs better. And this is why I say sometimes I think that the button is better than the field. And here's why. When people land here and they're reading stuff and they're hopping down, they see the email field. And so they know you want their email right here. So it's kind of like an explicit call for their email. But even though, so that's what they would have to do. They're like, okay, you want my email, and I would just I would click in here, and I'm giving you my email. Now, a different option, and that's not quite like you can't measure this as well unless they from your site visitors. So all site visitors, which ones clicked in here, you could count that, and then which ones completed and sent it off. So you could do that to kind of like get that tracking validation, but it's not quite as straightforward maybe, or not as easy as I think this. So people are on your page, they're reading it, they're interested. The ones that are definitely interested are going to click the button. So they're not like, it's not saying, give me your email right now or something like that, but it's taking them along the journey to the next step. And so as soon as they click that button, you launch this and you say, hey, Prepend is blah, 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 and it's coming out in mid Q2 2023. We would love to invite you to the beta program. Please put in your email address if you'd like to, something like that. Actually, that's a good point. For beta access, something like that. So I see this as a slightly different journey, possibly for customers, for visitors to convert. But like I said, I don't have any data on which one explicitly works better. Now that I said beta, that reminds me of one other thing. So when you are doing a wait list, you kind of have like three kind of CTAs. You have the get early access CTA, so that's a text. You have like join the wait list, and you have like join the beta or something like that. And they're all very similar, but slightly different, I think. So like join the wait list. I get why people do that. Also, don't have any data on this, but my objective as a visitor isn't to be on a wait list. I want to get access. So that's why I always like get early access better. Better than like join the wait list. Like I don't want to be on a wait list. And so anything that kind of like skips that step, the idea of being stuck on a wait list, is good, I think, to me. Now, the other option I think I said was something about beta. So let's say you were doing get early access, and then you pop up this modal. Well, I think that's where you might say like, join the beta. Like you could call out like, hey, the product's not out yet, but we are launching an early beta for certain users if you join the waitlist, or if I said waitlist right now. So I think that's a way to one, make it known that on the timeline of product creation, and if you're here, this is as far as the visitor, there's going to be a beta before like the full product launch. And so that kind of gives them an idea of what to expect on the timeline of product launch. So that's why I kind of like the idea of stating something around like get early access, and we're sending out pre-beta, or we're sending out beta invites soon, something like that. So I just talked about that a lot more than I expected to. Like I said over here, I don't think you need to put credit card at all. Get eligible. Well, okay, so this is grammatically this is written wrong, but that's okay. I totally understand that. I am not great at grammar myself. But like I think you could add something like that, or leave it off and just do the button and then call that out in like the modal. Um, yeah, so that's it. So another item. So let's see. We talked about headline. Headline. You want it to be short and sweet, and cover some of those keywords that are really important to your product. So the best thing I find is write 10 different headlines, or maybe make a list of those hot keywords that you need to hit first. Turn objectives and KPIs from painful to insightful. So this might follow some sort of system. I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, we know what KPIs are. Objectives, I think that one's pretty hard. Like, that's a hard definition. Objectives, that's a little fuzzy to me, unless maybe it's like some sort of specific system that people are familiar with, Scrum or something else, and objectives are a specific thing. To get insightful or insights. So insights, I think, is a little fuzzy as well. And like, what does that actually mean? Unless there's a specific system where you want KPIs or you want objectives. I guess I should actually just write an O. Let's do that. Objectives. We measure that with KPIs, and the result is insights. Something like that. If there's like a linear progression between these, that would be really cool to know. So that's why I put this here. KPIs. You could state exactly what you do without writing a full sentence. So KPIs, arrow, insights. So it might be like I put here. It might be objectives, KPIs, insight, and then like you could add if AI is an important part of this, then you want to make that clear. AI is hot right now. It can be a boon. I think there's also AI fatigue, so be careful of that. Depending on what AI is, how AI plays into your product. So it could be like powered by AI. So you do like this, powered by AI, or turn objectives and KPIs from painful to insightful. So you could play with other ideas. So like automatic insights from KPIs, something like that. Just keep rewriting it and come up with like different ways to word it. Maybe you're starting off. So I'm kind of thinking of this as an equation when I'm saying this here, because it's like this equals that. So that's kind of what I'm really saying, isn't it? It's like this leads to that, which equals insights. Or maybe actually this could be a good graphic. Objectives, KPIs equals insight, and then this is like your prepend, and here's your like AI stars. That could be something used somewhere else. Anyways, so I think that gives you some ideas. For your secondary text right here, this is where you can really expand on that. I would make it 2 to the max 3 lines. So this is 2 sentences. If you can make it just 1 sentence, that's even better. This one, okay, so I just pasted in your sentence right here to get the idea of what it looked like. Here's this one that I worked on previously. Okay, so in the headline, I'm talking about like, what does somebody want to do, like the good stuff. Ace your thesis with ease, the ultimate paper writing experience. Probably not the strongest. It could probably be better now that I'm thinking of like paper. Like maybe it needs to be scientific paper or thesis. Or, oh, I guess I already used thesis. And then there's a second line. It's two lines of text. Monster Writer, so the name of the product, helps students. So helps who do what? They write top-notch thesis papers through and then like what your product offers. So through the organization, writing, and publishing process. So right now the primary CTA for Monster Writer is to download the product. So I think you could rewrite this second line and make it, expand on your headline in a really succinct and powerful way. Then decide which CTA you want to use, if it's a button or if it's a full field. One item that I put on here is social proof. So it's very common now. You go to a website and you'll see exactly these 5 things: a visual, which is a graphic or a video clip or something else. Social proof, you'll see star ratings or a short quote from someone. When you have social proof, then you can you want to put something there: star rating, testimonial quote, etc. Now, I just had this idea. Since this is a wait list or pre-launch, what social proof do you have? Well, you don't have much, but you do have the fact that people are putting in their emails to get early access, and so that might be what you use this for right here. You don't have reviews, but you do have 200 plus people on the wait list. Maybe people on wait list. Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe avoid the word wait list. Waiting for beta. I don't know. Think about the wording on that. 200 plus waiting for beta. Images or no images. I mean, human faces is always good. Who are these people? Maybe they're just stock UI. They're not the actual people that have signed up onto your email list. That's okay. I don't think that's lying. It's just indicating that there are people. Now, what happens when you only have 5 people on your list? I don't know. You could wait until you have more, or maybe you say something else like, let's see, new people. I hate using words like customers and clients or users because they're just kind of not as friendly. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you could do like new people signing up daily. So something along those lines, but not quite that text. So I haven't thought about that too much, but maybe you can think of something smarter to say there. Now, let's see. We're at 23 minutes. Wow. Okay, so let's let's get moving on this. So you don't have content or testimonials and some other things for this entire, like a full-featured landing page. That's okay. I think you still have plenty to do with your hero section, your features and objectives. So that's where you want to speak into some of the specifics that your product offers. Some of the features, some of the benefits. For you, integrations. This is where you have these integrations here. Slack or Teams. So you have those. Now, give me some of those big old fat logos, that's a powerful indicator for you. So you don't have clients right now. You don't have businesses that are using your product. But hey, you have these well-known integrations. And so you want to show that, not just say it. Features, use cases. Use cases, you want to list some examples of the type of person that would greatly benefit from your product. So that when I come on and I look at this product and I'm scrolling down and I see use cases and it says a design director and I'm a design director and I need to initiate, like, I need to build up the KPIs and the insights for my design team, boom, that speaks to me. Or you scrolling down, project manager, or startup founder. You know, the kind of who is your target audience? What do they do? And and those are the people that you want to list down. And so I think that always works really well. So like when I see that I am listed on the site, that tells me that this is right for me. That's part of it. But also don't go crazy and don't list everything under the sun that you can think of. It's not designers and developers and marketers and virtual assistants and CEOs. CEOs are not going to be coming to your site if they're real CEOs at a large company. They're not going to be the ones that are tasked with finding this type of tool to initiate on their teams. That's going to be the job of someone else. Operations or human resources, I don't know, product owners, product managers, that sort of thing. So narrow down into those key categories and roles. But you can definitely add something around that. More social proof when you get that, more testimonials, FAQs. You can do this right now. And so I put a few outlines. So I put, you need FAQs for sure. A minimum of 8, a maximum of 12. If you end up going past 12 someday, you don't need to right now, then have a dedicated FAQ page with all of them that you can link to from this FAQ section. Yeah, so actually this was a line that I brought over from another review that I did for someone else, and they only had 3 FAQs. And that tells me that they just didn't really think about it much. They just slapped it on there. Now, I wrote a bunch of FAQs for other projects using ChatGPT. And it doesn't have to be as specific for your product as you may think. It can be about just general SaaS products. So people want to know, hey, what happened, stuff about charges and refunds if I'm not happy. So you could put those kinds of things in there really easily. And that helps counter objections that people may have and understand more about the product. So let's see, frequently asked questions. What is Monster Rider? This gives you just another way to talk about what the purpose is. What makes Monster Rider different? Is Monster Rider easy to use? Can I use Monster Rider on my mobile device? Makes sense. It's a writing app. Is customer support available? Yeah. How does Monster Rider help me stay motivated and focused? So these are actually directly from this client's website. I didn't write anything new on that. Makes me wonder. Let's see. Who did I write more FAQs for? I'm not certain at the moment, but I generated a bunch on ChatGPT around SaaS products. And also you look at other people, see what FAQs they are using. Pricing, when you get an idea of what pricing is, put that in there. And you always want more than one tier. So you may have a free plan, maybe not, yes or no, but it may be simple. You want at least 2 tiers. If there's only 2, then you might have something like personal and professional. If you have multiple, more than 2, you might have like a free tier or a solo plan, and then you have your medium tier, and then you have like the enterprise. For a product like this, you could probably get to enterprise at some point. Maybe not starting off, but eventually. And you know how pricing works, and what you get compared to the other tiers. It just continues to add on. But I'll leave that there for now. And early on, right now, you might do this as you're still getting people interested. So you put in another get early access button, so pricing. You tell them what the indicated price is. So it's going to be $99 a month. But that doesn't come in. I'm trying to think of what this should look like, and I'm not exactly sure. But somehow I want to indicate, I want to show the pricing, the normal pricing. But right now, for early access members, and then I want to like diminish this a little bit, either by crossing it out a little bit, but where it's still completely visible and readable. Currently, early users, free. Boom. So, hey, sign up now because you can be an early user and you can use this for free in beta. Something like that. Finally, founder's note. Oh, second CTA. So that's where you put another block with that. You want to put in, you want to mirror what you have at the top of your site for the CTA, but restate it in a different way. So this, I kind of have a preferred way to do this. So let's take a look at Monster Rider again. So here is our first headline and CTA. So we're saying this, and then we're pushing them towards the CTA. Now, when I get down to the bottom, I like to put my CTAs, my second CTAs, in an enclosed container, so that whenever I come down to the end, I get an idea that this is still part of everything up here, but there's like a finality coming down to it, and it's bright and it's big and it's contained, versus creating just a straight banded color section like this. So if I have a whole bunch of banding of colors, which is very common in design, and I've done it many times, then I'm jumping to like new sections each time, and they're kind of they're part of the same flow, but they're also unique and kind of contained. So I purposely, in this design, I purposely left these open. So when I'm scrolling down, so here's the hero, here's some of that social proof, and then here's my features and objections section. Actually, this is part of features too. And so I this, I'm not putting any color dividers or divider lines. This is all part of the same flow until I get down to here. So I might put something in here to put a breather space, but here I didn't. And then it goes down into this self-contained CTA. How you want to implement that, totally optional. Now the last that I'm saying here, when you're a solo founder, this can be huge. You want to put, like I said, that human element behind the product and the website. You want to prove that this is not spam. There's a real person creating this. There's a real person that's collecting your emails and your money. And and you've put a lot of time and effort and work into it, and you're completely reliable and trustworthy. And so this just kind of like speaks into a little bit of how you got here. Keep it very short, two small paragraphs, and put a photo of yourself, and that brings in that human element as well. A lot of, at least on Indie Hackers specifically, a lot of us are solo founders, and so it might only be you. Now, when the team grows, or you have a small to medium team, then maybe you might not even have this at some point, but maybe you still have it, and now you are the CEO, and you have a team of 10 people. So that could be a little bit different. But, as a solo founder, this is highly recommended. And it's really, I kind of thought that founder's note was gimmicky myself. And I saw people talking about it and saying to put it in there. And I was just like, I really don't like it. But after investigating more early products, I started having that exact question. I was looking for who is behind this. Are they telling me something about themselves? Are they linking out to their Twitter? Are they linking to their LinkedIn? Do they have a GitHub? Like, what proves that there's a real person behind here and not someone just slinging a bunch of junk and trying to gather, scrape data or gather my data or scam me? All right, that was a lot. I hope you got some nuggets out of this, and I'm looking forward to see where you go forward with this. Oh, I did somewhere in my notes, I scratched this out, and just looking at your page, like this little illustration doesn't do much. Like it doesn't add any benefit to it, and so I would just get rid of it. You do need more images when it comes to talking about your product, and so it might just be zoomed in views. So it might be just like clipping this and then down here, whenever you're talking about your features and benefits, you have a snippet of the UI. You could work people into that too. Maybe it might just be a floating avatar head right here. But I find that the best options are not illustrations. I know that has been very popular in design and software, and it's very popular right now because there's so many easy to find illustrations of people and business and thingies to use for free. But it's not very specific for your actual product, even when they look fantastic. Unless it just like completely correlates with your messaging, I don't find them very compelling. I would rather see real pictures of the software, the UI. I know I said something different about that earlier. Real pictures of humans and humans using your product or interacting with it or interacting with others. And that's going to be a lot more powerful than stock illustrations. All right, maybe I really am about to wrap it up now. Look at examples. Definitely structure your features right here. So I noticed, this your headings here didn't quite make sense. Why? And then there's your CTA. So get rid of that while I'm looking at these. How can we help? These are not how can we help content. This is features. So that doesn't go there. So just make sure you're using proper headings for each of your sections. And I put a bunch of examples here from Notion and Skiff, and maybe that's all, but you can get ideas like this. Look at this. For FAQs or for integrations. Oh, that's Framer. Or features. This is exactly what I looked at when I was working on Monster Writer, and I designed these blocks. I was like, this has a lot of similarities to Notion, and I'm going to capitalize on that. So yeah, think about when you write sections. So think about what's the headline for that section, what's the subtext, and then what's like the bullet point. Excuse me. But I like where you're going. I like your idea. You have a lot of opportunity here. And looking forward to see what you do later. Bye.